There's a rumor making the rounds that Halo Studios is actively developing full remakes of Halo 2 and Halo 3, and on the surface that sounds like a slam dunk. Two of the most beloved shooters ever made, rebuilt for modern hardware. But the more you think about it, the more complicated that idea becomes. Because this isn't just any franchise, and these aren't just any games. These are titles that help define an entire era of gaming, especially during the height of the Xbox 360 generation, and they're still very playable today. So the real question isn't could these remakes happen, it's should they happen at all? To understand why this question matters, you have to look at what already exists. Halo, the Master Chief Collection, isn't just a simple bundle. It's essentially a living archive of the series. It already includes a fully remastered version of Halo 2 with updated visuals, reworked cinematics, and modern performance improvements. You can switch between classic and remastered graphics instantly, which preserves the original experience while offering a modern presentation. That's not just a remake, that's preservation done right. And Halo 3, while it hasn't received the same full anniversary overhaul, has still been enhanced with higher resolutions and smoother performance, making it far more accessible to modern audiences without fundamentally altering what made it special. So if both games are already playable, polished, and widely available, what exactly would a new remake bring to the table? Because at this point, we're not talking about fixing something that's broken. We're talking about revisiting something that already works. And that's where things start to get risky. A remake isn't just a visual upgrade anymore. It's often a reinterpretation. Developers tweak gameplay systems, adjust mechanics, and sometimes even alter narrative elements to better fit modern expectations. And while that can work for older games that feel dated, Halo 2 and Halo 3 don't really fall into that category. Their gameplay still feels tight, their level design still holds up, and their multiplayer foundations are still respected today. And that multiplayer piece is especially important. Halo 2 essentially defined console online multiplayer as we know it, while Halo 3 refined it into something that felt almost perfect at the time. The pacing, the map design, the weapon balance, it all contributed to a very specific feel that's hard to replicate. If a remake changes too much in an attempt to modernize those systems, it risks losing the identity that made those games so impactful in the first place. And if it doesn't change enough, then you have to ask why the remake exists at all. There's also the question of tone and storytelling. Halo 2's dual narrative structure, shifting between Master Chief and the Arbiter, was bold for its time and helped expand the universe in meaningful ways. Halo 3, on the other hand, delivered a more focused and cinematic conclusion to that arc. These stories are already well regarded, and any attempt to rewrite or expand them would need to be handled carefully. Add too much and you dilute what worked. Change too little, and again, you're left wondering what the point of the remake really is. But to be fair, there are arguments in favor of these remakes. A full rebuild using modern technology could deliver a level of immersion that even the Master Chief Collection can't fully achieve. Imagine larger, more dynamic battlefields, more detailed character animations, and environmental storytelling that goes beyond what was possible in 2004 or 2007. A remake could also unify the visual style of the trilogy, bringing Halo 2 and Halo 3 in line with modern graphical standards in a way that feels cohesive across the entire series. And for players who never experienced these games during their original one, a modern remake might be the most accessible entry point. There's also the business side of things which can't be ignored. The Halo franchise hasn't had the smoothest trajectory in recent years. Halo Infinite launched with strong gameplay but struggled to maintain long-term momentum with its live service model. So from a strategic standpoint, going back to what worked, revisiting the most beloved entries in the series, makes a lot of sense. It's a way to rebuild trust with the fan base, generate excitement, and remind people why Halo mattered in the first place. But that leads to a bigger concern. Is leaning on nostalgia the best path forward? Because every remake represents time and resources that could have been spent on something new. A new story, a new direction, or even just refining the current formula into something that feels fresh again. If Halo becomes too focused on revisiting its past, it's risk losing its ability to evolve. And for a franchise that once pushed the industry forward, that would be a significant shift. There's also the question of expectations. Remaking games as iconic as Halo 2 and Halo 3 isn't just about meeting a technical standard. It's about meeting an emotional one. Players have strong memories tied to these games, whether it's late night multiplayer sessions, unforgettable campaign moments, or the feeling of experiencing something groundbreaking for the first time. A remake has to live up to all of that, which is an incredibly high bar. And if it falls short, it doesn't just disappoint, it risks tarnishing the legacy of the originals. So where does that leave us? If these remakes are real, they need to offer something meaningful. Not just better graphics, not just minor tweaks, but a clear reason for existing alongside the versions we already have. They need to respect what made the originals great while justifying why they're being revisited now. And that's not an easy balance to strike. At the end of the day, Halo 2 and Halo 3 don't feel like games that need remakes. They're not lost to time, they're not unplayable, and they're not in desperate need of modernization. But that doesn't mean remakes couldn't work. It just means the margin for error is incredibly small. If done right, they could reintroduce Halo to a new generation and remind longtime fans why they fell in love with the series. If done wrong, they could feel unnecessary at best and damaging at worst. And that's really the core of this discussion. Not whether these remakes are happening, but whether they should happen, and what they would need to do to justify their existence in a world where the originals are still very much alive. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more discussions like this, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. And if you want to support the channel even further, check out my Patreon. My latest exclusive goes in depth on the rise of subscription gaming and the hidden costs that come with it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you want Halo 2 and Halo 3 remade, or do you think they're better left alone? Game on.